This review is a contribution to Red Ribbon Reviewers, helping spread AIDS awareness through entertainment. Also, this review contains graphic imagery not suitable for all ages. Viewer discretion is advised. Here's a special Christmas present for you all. It's a Christmas thriller movie that is like Die Hard with a splash of Home Alone. It's Violent Night. Remember Pat Casey and Josh Miller? Well, it seems they're on a roll since writing for Sonic the Hedgehog. All they've done was Sonic and were responsible for this film as well. It was directed by Tommy Wirkola, who's done thriller movies like Dead Snow and Hansel and Gretel, Witch Hunters. Of the three producers, we have David Leitch, who had previously directed John Wick. Damn, quite an ensemble we got going. The studio working on this was 87 North Productions, who've done a lot of action-based films, starting with John Wick 3. Universal Pictures would of course distribute the movie and provide backing. As far as I can tell, production started in 2020, and finally, in 2022, it would come up to a rather moderate success. But really, why cover this movie aside from me really wanting to show how awesome it was? Well, it still fits with Home Alone partially. You'll see why as we have ourselves a very violent night. We open at a bar in Bristol, England on Christmas Eve. Burl Livesby singing his tunes as we see a man in a Santa suit, played by David Harbour, best known as the Red Guardian from the MCU, moping away as another Santa helper comes in and asks what's up. It seems David Claus is feeling bitter about the holidays, and it's harder to even do it for the kids that don't believe in Christmas these days.
Maybe this is my last year, the last Christmas.
Well, I can't stand seeing another Santa in distress. Put his drinks on my tab.
What a nice guy. Before he leaves, David Claus gives the bartender a present for her grandson, making her a bit confused. She follows him up to the roof, but finds him gone. Did he jump? Oh snap, it's really him! Santa is real, and he's flying away on his reindeer in all his splendor. He then throws up from having drank too much. I won't be showing it, of course. After the title card, we move over to Greenwich, Connecticut, where we start meeting more of our main cast. First is Jason Lightstone, played by Alex Hassel, who's being picked up by his estranged wife Linda, played by Alexis Louder, and their daughter Gertrude, aka Trudy, played by Leah Brady.
Daddy, you filthy animal.
He got to stay up late and watch Home Alone.
And there's our thematic tie to these reviews. Well, part of it. We'll see more, I promise. They're going to his mother's place for Christmas, despite Linda's hesitance given their current relationship. We can tell his mother is loaded since she has private property with a gatekeeper named Al.
What did you ask Santa for?
Not to work on Christmas Eve. Must have been naughty this year because here I am.
On the plus side, you're only 2 days away from retirement. Various employees, including a few who will matter later, are preparing for some kind of Christmas party. We also meet more family members, including Jason's sister, Alva, played by Eddie Patterson, her son, Bird, played by Alexander Elliott, and Alva's boyfriend, Morgan Steele, played by Cam Gigantant. He's clearly some third-rate actor.
They're parachutes.
Yes.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah, I do like it.
Also, it's pretty evident that they're just here on obligation since their mother is apparently a tyrant. Oh, how bad can she really be?
Listen, you cocksucker, it's Christmas, so why don't you take your best offer, gift wrap it, and ram it up your fucking box?
Well then, so this Gertrude, played by Beverly D'Angelo, aka Ellen Griswold from the National Lampoon Vacation movies, is as nasty sounding as they make her out to be. I also can't tell if this is her natural voice, or if she has throat issues. She seems nicer to Trudy at least, though who would ever be mean to her? She's just a bundle of sunshine. Still, I suppose when you amass a ton of wealth, and you're bound to die of old age, you might feel cynical toward family that just wants in your will. But like that one Taylor Swift song, she'll be laughing up at them from hell. Speaking of hell, Santa is going through his own as he makes his rounds, and putting up with bad milk and cookies, passing money and gift cards, which, honestly, if I were him, I'd totally understand since people be struggling in these times. People just ordering their stuff from Amazon as if to not bother wrapping, It's like Christmas doesn't mean much to people anymore. And obviously I'm not gonna harp on the obvious things like not everybody's celebrating it, or how various groups hijack the holiday for their own greedy means. But at the same time, I get Santa's frustrations to where seeing him be grumpy is an understandable emotion. I especially like how he pees while passing through the Washington, D.C. area. Back with Jason, Trudy made the cookies and milk for Santa. Well, she tried anyway. And Jason apparently was too busy to bring her to see the mall Santa this year. So, to try and salvage things, he decides to pull out a walkie-talkie from the closet, pretend it's an early gift, and more importantly, that it has a direct line to Santa.
He might not have time to answer you. He's delivering a lot of presents tonight. But he'll hear everything you want to say to him.
And she starts chatting to him like the innocent girl she is, and even mentions how she wants her parents to make up and be a family again. I doubt he can grant that kind of miracle, but it's an honest request still. And hey, Santa's just arrived, so he might make it happen.
Which one of you did that? Can't go 2 seconds without crapping on the roof like a bunch of pigeons? You know, Rudolph will never do this. Crap.
I'm amazed no one's ever discovered reindeer poo on their roofs and questioned how that happened. Now, aside from demonstrating his ability to dust himself up and down chimneys, he's finally treated to some good milk and cookies, even if the milk is skim. And might as well try the liquor and vibrator chair. I don't think Gertrude is gonna notice. But now it's time for our antagonists to appear. The guy heading the catering service, played by Andre Erickson, knocks out the security guy after a funny joke about what holiday they don't celebrate.
Boxing Day.
Then, with a holiday-themed watch, he signals the others that we've seen throughout the day. This includes an elf guy, played by Brendan Fletcher, this girl with a peppermint on her head, played by Mitra Suri, and many others that I don't really recognize to note. They immediately cut out the Wi-Fi, greatly upsetting Bert in his live stream.
Grandma! Your Wi-Fi sucks dick! Damn it!
When he was small, I begged you to beat him.
More reason I'm not like Gertrude. But now it's time for the main baddie of the movie. It's John Leguizamo, who you may know as Luigi from the live-action Mario movie, and Sid the Sloth. I'll name his character in a bit, but first, it's time to say goodbye to Al. So yeah, he's heading a group of mercenaries, I guess? And they're all going by holiday-themed code names like Jingle, Peppermint, Sugar Plum, Krampus, Candy Cane, Frosty, Tinsel, Gingerbread, and of course, Mr. Scrooge.
Welcome to your worst Christmas ever.
Back over to Trudy's parents, Linda scolds Jason for skipping out on doing things with Trudy because his mother keeps pulling him away from his family, and he actually agrees. He asks if they can truly make her wish come true and get away from his mother. Before he can elaborate, the villains make their move, pretty much killing all the staff and security while leaving the Lightstones alive. The way they kill varies, though Candy Cane is probably the most versatile. Also, as silly as it is that our villains go by holiday names, they do take their job seriously. Even Scrooge gets to be awesome in how he gets a hold of the family.
Humbug, motherfucker.
Santa is awoken by the sounds of gunfire and checks around. He realizes he's in hot water but can't do anything about it now since his magic doesn't want to cooperate. He's forced to hide, which doesn't last long, and at first you might think that this Santa is just a normal guy with a bit of a grumpy personality. But as this one guy tries beating sense into him, Santa gets angry. Frankly, I'm glad none of them got shot. So yeah, this Santa can fight. Maybe not as well as we might think, though we are dealing with professional mercenaries. Still, he eventually gets the guy out the window, though he gets dragged down by lights as well. But thankfully he survives, while the other guy got impaled. He peeks inside the house, seeing Scrooge holding the family hostage, including Trudy and her parents. Now, I just want to stop and praise John Leguizamo. For years, people tend to associate him to Ice Age or certain comedies, despite having a massive backlog of films and such. So to see him in a serious role like this, coming off as intimidating and scary, is pretty rad.
Cause your staff are dead, your security are dead. Now sit down And shut the fuck up!
It's part of something that makes this movie really work the way it does. It plays itself completely straight. There is no tongue-in-cheek humor, no winking at the camera. It's not trying to be obnoxious with its premise. This is an honest-to-God Christmas action movie that just happens to involve a killer Santa, who's also a good guy this time. It knows exactly what it is, while making us care for what's going on. And while Santa considered leaving, he can't leave Trudy after she gave him those handmade cookies, so he does still have empathy. Gertrude brings up how her family has a special extraction team who once recovered her brother, while also disappearing the people who took him. So that's setting up something for later. Scrooge sounds confident, and the reason he's here at all is because she has $300 million in her vault, stolen from the US government, meant to be distributed to people in the Middle East for war-related stuff. Said vault has a complex system in place, so it'll take them a while to decode. They later discover the body of that one guy Santa took down, so now they're aware that something is up. Remembering she has that walkie-talkie, Trudy puts an earpiece on and starts talking into it. Santa, back in the house, tries finding a present from his holiday bag of holding for something to defend himself with. This leads to a funny fight with one guy, set to some song I don't know, which goes back and forth until he stabs the guy with a star ornament, and then electrocuting him. I obviously can't montage this stuff like with the other movies, since plot is constantly happening. But honestly, the movie is so damn good that it's more reason to watch it for yourself. There is a lot of good creative action present, even making use of what Santa has or is capable of doing. He gets a hold of a walkie-talkie and it happens to be connected to Trudy. Naturally, she doesn't know what he's done so far, but is happy to get a hold of him. And to prove she's nice, Santa pulls out his magic hollow scroll that contains the naughty and nice list, with her definitely being nice. For keeping mom clean, listening to parents, kind to animals, sweet to everyone, and invited weird kid to party. The naughty list features the villains with their real names, which I guess doubles as our kill list for the movie. He reassures her he's going to do everything he can to help. He's going to take a lump of coal for each of them and shove it straight up
The ass.
Well, I mean, come on, Trudy. We want to keep you on the nice list, you know.
She'll help him with suggestions as needed. Otherwise, Scrooge knows there's a guy in a Santa suit loose, and to keep an eye out for him. Santa checks on Al, still dead, and unfortunately no way to contact the outside. Scrooge calls for Frosty, the guy Santa just killed, so now Santa is able to talk with him. All he wants from him is to let the family go, so he can get back to his job. Scrooge ain't impressed.
The hell are you really, huh? Some security guard who's watched too many action flicks? Some loser ex-cop stuck in a mall playing dress-up with fat kids pissing on your lap? Stop me when I get it right.
Maybe in another movie. At least he's not a pro wrestling devil forced to become Santa. After a cool line from Santa,
Santa Claus is coming to town.
Scrooge tries interrogating Gertrude about the Santa guy. She claims to know nothing, so Scrooge is going to torture the family until someone says something. Starting with Jason, since Alva and Bert are freaking tools. And the torture method is using the nutcracker to break his finger. He wants to go for the balls next, but Trudy tries saying that Santa is real and he's going to beat them up. As the parents try defending her, despite what Trudy says, Jason finally blurts out that Santa isn't real to her.
Santa's just a thing adults tell kids to make them feel better, okay? Your mommy and I give you the presents.
Trudy!
Back here! Hey!
On one hand, genuine reaction to a kid finding out that Santa isn't real. But on the other hand, this is a world where Santa is real, actively delivers presents, and yet somehow people don't believe anyway? For me, it always comes down to, well, if he isn't real, where did this gift that you had no knowledge of getting me even come from? Mind you, he's had to deliver less physical gifts and crap, but that's still something he has to deliver when no one else might have. Especially the monetary gifts he's been leaving. Santa, meanwhile, gets inside one room and starts tending to his wounds. He's sporting some Celtic and Norse tattoos done by makeup artist Mike McCash, who, from what I can find, won a Primetime Emmy Award in 2022 for his work on Stranger Things. As he does, he recounts his past as some Viking warrior, though we'll get more in a bit. Trudy contacts him again, having hid in the attic.
I can set up booby traps. Like in Home Alone.
Ooh, I can't wait. She asks if he really is real, since her dad thinks otherwise, but he replies that even if they say that, he still brings presents to kids who really need him. It's part of the Christmas magic he doesn't know to full extent. She does believe in him after he recounts what she wanted, and it's very wholesome to see him trying to comfort her and acknowledging the problems that parents can have. Then, as part of this movie's Santa lore, he relates to Jason and Linda by mentioning how he's been having marital issues with his own wife but still loves her despite how complicated things are. It's a very grounded moment that makes you really care for these two characters. We even get backstory for Santa, as we learn how he used to be a bloodthirsty Viking named Nicomund the Red, who slayed his foes with his trusty hammer, Skull Crusher. Despite all this, Trudy thinks that all the things he did that were bad, he could use for good. After all, he did give her not just a toy bunny, but a best friend.
That's why I believe in you, Santa. That's why I believe.
Thank you.
Over to the adults, Krampus suggests they open presents, since it might be their last time doing so. Morgan gave Gertrude a pitch deck, as if he couldn't be more of a suck-up. Alva got her a sentimental photo of herself at birth, and despite Jason saying he left his outside, they pull out his, which is her favorite bottle of whiskey and a note that she doesn't read aloud but is affected by it to where she keeps its contents to herself. Word gets out that the extraction team is on their way, headed by Commander Thorpe, played by Mike Dupuy, whatever, sending his troops out to fuck shit up. Santa, meanwhile, tries to start thinning out the baddies, but
Merry Christmas, traitor.
he gets cornered in a room and they blow up a fire extinguisher to knock him out. Trudy listens from above as they interrogate him. They are confused by his magic sack of presents, and even when Santa tries to explain his own magic lore and stuff, the only non-believer is Scrooge. He immediately burns the bag and then starts going over his own backstory about when he was a kid and something that happened on Christmas.
Show that Yuletide cheer through their window mocking me. Waited for everybody to go to bed. And then I snuck in there to take it all. Problem was that the Gramps got up to take a piss and the two of us scared the shit out of each other. Fell down the stairs and broke his neck and he died in the hospital. Everybody thought that I did it, and every time I tried to tell them that, anyway, maybe I did do it. Maybe I did push him.
You almost had me, but I think the implication you might have murdered someone and you just set yourself up to be a criminal forever and ever doesn't earn you sympathy. Santa claims it isn't his place to get involved in people's lives, while Scrooge thinks otherwise. Even if Santa does get involved, it might not always work out and you probably would end up the way you are now, dickhead. Despite all the name-dropping and fact-checking on their lives, Scrooge refuses to accept it's him and prepares to kill. Trudy, having discovered fake snow, drops it down the vent to fool them into thinking that Santa is using his powers. It almost works, though Scrooge catches on right as Santa tips his chair over and warps up the chimney.
I saw it.
I don't know, he had a rig or some pulley system that just yanked him up.
Did any of them feel wires? No? Then your logic is faulty. The extraction team arrives, Morgan kicks down Krampus and makes a break for it out the window. He doesn't even wait for the others, even abandoning Alva. He finds the team and after explaining what's happened...
Shit.
Yeah, it turns out these guys are working with Scrooge, and the list just got bigger. And if you're thinking someone in the family is gonna die next, don't. No one else but the villains are gonna die this movie. They learn about the extra intruder, immediately find him on the roof, and begin shooting away. While doing that, they go to the vault to finally open it up with the key provided, only to find it empty, except for scraps and boxes. Someone beat them to it, and it must be one of the family members. Trudy contacts Santa, who's starting to feel like it's hopeless as he is completely surrounded and powerless. The naughty list just keeps growing and growing, but Trudy asks what his Christmas wish would be. Pulling out a ring, he wishes to see his wife again. Upon Trudy saying he needs to make it come true, he drops it, rolling straight to a well-made hammer. It ain't Skull Crusher, but it'll do. And Trudy tells him exactly what to do.
Take that coal and shove it straight at their...
Anuses.
Yeah!
Santa's gonna eat through these guys like a plate full of cookies.
You know, I feel like he deserves another chance at a Hellboy movie. A good Hellboy movie. Naturally, he starts taking them down, one by one at first. Things get more intense as more guys come in. I can't show all of this wonderfully filmed massacre of evil soldiers by a killer Santa, but one kill I'll highlight is him roping one guy and having him pulled into a snowblower. Meanwhile, Scrooge demands to know where the money is. Gertrude insists it's in the vault, but Thrupp says otherwise.
You can't trust anyone these days.
Maybe don't be a condescending rich asshole and maybe people will like you better. Scrooge is so mad that he might just randomly shoot someone.
What if you randomly shoot the only person who knows where it is?
Oh my god, Bert figured it out? Now you know the world's gone to hell. Well, Scrooge figures that if he can't shoot Gertrude's kids, he can shoot Linda unless somebody fesses up. Naturally, Jason confesses that he took the money. He was planning to take it and leave with his family because he was tired of how his mother treated him, the whiskey and note being the only proof of his deeds. Really, Linda never cared for the money, but regardless, it's time to show them where he hid it. Elsewhere, Candy Cane and Gingerbread discover where Trudy was hiding, because she laid out some obvious traps. Santa has to hurry, since no way Gingerbread is gonna fall for the nail on the ladder.
You little moron.
Damn! And you know, these guys are legitimately more threatening than the terrorists from Home Alone 3, but they're not perfect, and neither is Trudy at least. Candy Cane goes over him, only to be assaulted by a barrage of bowling balls that trip her, and also knock Gingerbread onto a bed of nails. Then, just to really nail him, while he looks at one that was stuck in his butt, Candy Cane accidentally kicks a ball his way, and... I guess by Home Alone, she meant she saw Home Alone with blood. Candy Cane gets stuck in glue, and while she blocks cinder blocks, she can't block Trudy on a punching bag and gets knocked down. By this point, anybody with sense would just give up since you're stuck in frickin' glue. But she no-sells it at the cost of getting some hair pulled. Trudy puts up a valiant effort, but in the end, it's Santa to the rescue.
Traps like in the movie. It was so funny.
You're gonna need therapy after this. Santa has her close her eyes and sing aloud, as he doesn't want her to see him finish her. Jason and Gertrude are taken outside to find the money. She admits that her whole family is messed up, but part of the tradition is to take what's theirs. So she's proud that he did that to her at least. Anyway, Jason hid the money inside the nativity set.
3 wise men presented him with gifts of frankincense, myrrh, and cold hard cash.
But now that they have the money, no more need for hostages, so it's time to kill. Krampus wants to kill Alva first, leading to a funny argument over her and Linda over who's the bigger suck-up. Spoilers, it's not Linda, but Alva does one good thing, which is throw Krampus off guard so they can gang up on him and beat the shit out of him. He's not dead though. Never mind. Trudy returns to them. They now know about Santa, who needs Linda's help in rescuing the others, since she used to use these kind of guns. Maybe she used to hunt wild hogs with them. Santa provides cover with some good old melee. Scrooge and Thrupp leave by snowmobile, so Santa pursues after them by sled. Learning how Trudy is saved, Jason and Linda have their moment of reconciliation, but oops, one guy left and no more bullets. Gotta fight the old-fashioned way, even if Jason is kind of a weenie. Linda wins with icicle to the neck, and Trudy gets to show up in time for them to embrace. Wish fulfilled. Somehow, Santa catches up to one guy and steals a snowmobile, while Gertrude, who was taken by one of them earlier, gets tossed aside after struggling with them. He finds Scrooge, who goads him into running him down, but it's a trap as he slams into a tree stump. Scrooge uses all his ammunition, and while Santa is down, he takes out the naughty list. Seems Jimmy really did murder his best friend. Wow. Now a believer, he intends to end Christmas forever. We get an epic one-on-one fight between a washed-out Viking and a former plumber Slothman. Scrooge almost wins, but Santa has an idea. Oh man, that was cool! Santa laughs in triumph as the man who tried to ruin Christmas lays dead without limbs. Oh, just see what a glorious kill! Oh, Oh no! Yeah, Throp is confused, but is going to end it, though not before Gertrude shows up to fire him. Everyone arrives to see Santa dying from blood loss. He tries comforting Trudy as he seemingly dies. Jason gets an idea to burn what money they have, probably not all they have anyway, to give him some warmth. Santa's accepted his fate since he's lived far longer than anyone should, but as everyone laments over what he did and start believing in him, the Christmas magic revives him.
Santa!
You were dead.
Christmas magic? Still don't really understand.
Just then, his reindeer return with the sled, a new magic sack, and a note from Mrs. Claus saying how she was worried about him and decided to send him a little something.
Hello, beautiful.
Skull Crusher!
There's some Santa lore to share with the class. Santa thanks Trudy for reigniting his faith in Christmas and that he still matters to people. This heartwarming moment ends with him taking off in his sled to continue his journey to deliver presents.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
But we do get a mid-credit scene of Bert live streaming Thorpe's corpse.
Santa's real, alright? Don't end up on the naughty list. Do better. Bert likes Stone out.
He then got his channel taken down for showing a body in the woods, faster than with Logan Paul. Anyway, this is a really good movie. This is essentially the answer to what if Die Hard really was a Christmas movie, as the themes of Christmas are highly present for more than just Santa being here. It's about a man who felt his faith in Christmas slipping, only to be reminded by a child that he still matters to people who need him. We just throw in a high-stakes robbery, some hostages, a lot of blood and gore, and it's the perfect blend of genres. Yes, they do go a bit overboard with the cursing, which kinda offsets the more wholesome aspects of the movie, but honestly, the movie makes me care enough for Santa and his mission that I can overlook some of the edgier dialogue. I mean, they took advantage of the R rating to give us some excellent kills and fight sequences, and what humor they had was actually funny without being too forceful. Again, it helps that everyone is being straight with their performances. They knew what they were making and made it work splendidly. I suppose we could have gotten a little more to Santa's backstory in relation to his Viking past, maybe flesh out more of the Lightstones, but otherwise, most other issues I have are very small. Like Home Alone, this is the kind of fun Christmas movie I'd gladly watch every year. When a movie just hits you with some goodness during this time of year, no matter what kind of movie it is, you just have to share it. And we all have our favorites during this time of year, and even as we enter the new year with high expectations and doubts, at least we'll always have our comfort films, past and present, to keep us going and remind us that we're never really alone. So, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and see you all in 2026!